Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. I needed to rest a little longer than I thought. So, excuse me. So, hopefully, y'all are not too upset with me with starting a bit late. But I'm here. I'm ready to go. A little bit more well rested. And oops, forgot to open up the camera here. There we go. Hello. Um, Anyway, welcome to today's Oracle forecast. So, we have just gotten out of a Taurus new moon. Right now it's in Gemini. So, I bet a lot of things have come up for us this week. So, today I would like to pull some tarot cards for y'all to reflect on through these conditions and give you a little bit of a playlist that you can listen to get used to these. Well, not get used to these, but like consider the vibes around you. There we go. My words are not wording, can you tell? But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in all this time. There's a bunch of people that have been tuning in for 30, 40, 50 streams, and y'all are troopers. I really appreciate you. So, we're going to start off with a little bit of what to reflect on during the week. And then I have space for a few readings tonight. I have a queue on my Twitch, which is mostly full because I usually reserve it for 7 people, but I did expand it a little bit because I know there's some people who are coming on a little bit later. So, we shall see who shows up. And those of who are tuning in on YouTube, you can just chime in the chat. Ooh, okay. And those two wanted to show up here. So, for those who are new to the Oracle forecast, because we've had a bunch of new followers and subs recently, so I guess I can explain a little bit of what I've been doing so that way y'all don't get too lost. So, these Oracle forecasts that I do are basically things to help you reflect upon the week. It's not a prediction like you would in a stereotypical sense. It is more so in terms of helping you have stuff to reflect on during the week. Some themes might feel more relevant to you, other things might be just background noise, depending on which space you are at in your life. But regardless, the thing that I this hope these polls help you do is to help you think about things to prioritize during the week and meditate upon and maybe try and do things a little differently than what you tend to do. Try something a little different, focusing a little differently, just overall encourage a bit of self reflection. Then afterwards, I do provide a little bit of space for you to get readings like you would on Saturdays. But unlike Saturdays, it's going to be much shorter because this is not meant to be like a super long stream like I do with my Saturdays. So it's not as free for all, but um, the parameters are pretty much the same. So that's pretty much how it works. So what I do is I pull for the work week because I mean obviously I'm pulling live on Saturdays and Sundays. So that's why the pulls are focused mainly on Monday through Friday. Because Saturday and Sunday I'm pulling live. So I don't have to think about it too much. Um but yeah, I started getting into doing these after there were a few times where my Seer Saturdays kind of turned to Seer Sundays, and I was like, you know what? People are starting to get used to me tuning in. They're starting to get used to me starting to tune in like on Sundays sometimes, especially if I'm traveling. Because I mean, I do say as much in my channel descriptions that travel and sometimes energy levels may affect my streaming times. And Oftentimes, the travels do happen during the weekends. That's only going to be the case between June and July and a little bit of August as well. But but yeah, I started like especially in April, I was just having a really really hard time with my scheduling. March and April I was having a really hard time with scheduling. So my Sears Saturdays kind of turned to Sears Sundays, and I was just like, I'm not a fan of it turning like of that turning into that because like I'm always all set to work on Saturdays, and then Sundays happen. I kind of want to rest or kind of have my own life during Sundays, and it sometimes doesn't work out that way. And then it's like I lose a weekend of not being able to stream for you guys. I just feel super guilty. But then I kind of realize, wait a second, this is a pretty good opportunity. How about I do pools for you guys during the weekends, and then you all can at least still get something. So, in a way, those frustrating times where I just couldn't stream normally, whereas it was a genesis of something new. So that's where the Oracle forecasts came in during Sundays. And then eventually I was like, okay, let me be in the middle because I know some people were like, they often tune in and be like, can you read for me? And I feel bad saying no. So I opened up a space towards the end of the stream or towards the end of the forecast so that people can actually get some readings out of it. So, best indication that you could tell when you've gotten to reading time is if you hear background music and you see the chat on my left side, then um or actually my right side, because like I keep on forgetting my chat's mirrored now. My chat's not mirrored anymore. My camera's not mirrored anymore. But anyway, when you see the chat on my right side and you hear background music, that's an indication to be like, okay, readings are open now. But when it's just me on camera and it's completely silent, that means right now I'm not doing any readings, personal readings right now. This is a general collective thing. So now that I've broken down how my parameters work for those who are new, we're going to go ahead and get started with the week. And yeah, let's jump into it. So, the first card covers Monday. I did get a couple of jumpers though, but I'm feeling sometimes I get this feeling of let me do that last, let me do this first. Most of the time with jumpers, I tend to feel like pulling them out first, but for some reason today they want to come out last. So I'm like, okay, I'm not questioning it too much. I'm gonna pull out a couple of songs for you too, courtesy of Queen Herbie. Excuse me. Ooh, that's one. Okay, it's feeling one. Okay. I just get a little bit of like a nod in my heart or a bit of a kind of hint in my brain and be like, so if anybody wonders like how my system works sometimes, so it does get a little like feeling in my hands or a feeling in my heart or a feeling in my head saying, stop, that's all I need to know. And it's like, okay. All right. So starting off with Monday, our first reflection point, we've got the Knight of Wands. Oh, excuse me. So, Knight of Wands. So, wands, they're about passion and resilience and creativity, and knights are about are the younger are one of the two younger court cards, and that's all about action and change, um, asking for forgiveness rather than permission most of the time, but mostly about daring, being brave, and the beginning of this week is going to be an examination of, well, not going to be examination, but it's a call for you to examine. Where do you want to go to your next frontier? How do you dare yourself to do things differently and boldly go? Where's the place where you may need to act. You may need to act despite your fear until only you and whatever you're aiming for remains. I've been Bene Gesserit a lot, even though I still need to like read the entirety of Dune. But that lineage against fear always stands out to me because there are pros and cons to each. Sometimes the fear can be a necessary protector, but there are other times where the protection can be overdone, and we do have to face it and overcome it. So, with the Knight of Wands, where and what do you want to overcome? What do you want to examine to overcome? Where do you want to change and progress? Try to immerse yourself in the feeling. Maybe if you're the type of person who likes to write things down and get more specific, do that. If that's a bit too much. The feeling can work just as fine. Being in that space, like what space do you want to be in? And move towards that. Whatever that looks or feels like. So that's for Monday. Then for Tuesday, we've got the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups, I consider one of two cards that I consider to be like the happily ever after card. Because Two of Cups in a way, it's like not Two of Cups, Ten of Cups. Oh my gosh, Two of Cups is the other one. I mean, there's the Lovers too, and the World, and the Star, but Ten of Cups and Two of Cups is very much just happily ever after slash social harmony energy to this card, and it's an encouragement to pay attention to your relationships, the people around you, the environment around you, the things that have been working. Because a lot of times, like whether in the spiritual community or something else, there has often been a hyper focus on what do we need to fix, what do we need to optimize, what's the next thing, how do we produce, um, what do we need to like destroy and cut out of our lives, etc. There's so much that we tend to focus on what's not working, what we need to optimize, what we need to fix, etc. And sometimes we need to pay attention to what we're doing right. Sometimes we need to pay attention to what's working, what's been good in our lives, because there's been so much good in our lives, believe it or not. Like the fact that we're even communicating right now in this space of invisible connections coming up on our screens right now, you guys hearing my voice, etc. That's a pretty incredible thing to think about. And I think about this quite a lot. I'm starting to think about it more and more now because I remember when I believe I was around 14 years old. I was volunteering in the hospital, 14 or 15 years old. I was volunteering in a hospital in a surgical procedure unit. It was one of those like 1 day procedure units. So people just like go in, do a simple procedure and then leave. And I was often the person wheeling people out. And I very much was, at the time, was very focused on, I mean, basically more or less trying not to fail. Because I mean, I will admit, I wasn't the greatest traditional student. I was a good student in terms of I learned things quickly and I do pretty well with tests and I knew how to learn, but I wasn't really good at like the production side of it, like putting it all down on homework and stuff and paper. And there were so many times where there were so many compliments to my talents and skills, but there always was, I could always hear the invisible but, even if I didn't say it right afterwards. And so I think I was wheeling up this person's relative one day. This lady. She could have been my aunt. And she asked me what I was doing for school, what I was thinking of doing once I got to college. Because I mean, when you go to a prep school, and especially if you're a part of a marginalized population, you think about that stuff so early. And so I mentioned it. I mentioned all these things that I've been doing up until that point, and she said something that, like, to this day, it's never left me. Where she says, like, we're often so hard about what we often say so much about, like, what we're doing wrong, that sometimes it's just okay to hear what it is that you're doing right. Like, because we're so hard on you kids. I mean, it's from a nice place, but hey, we gotta praise you guys sometimes. And she gave me a really nice and warm hug before um she left to get the car, and I wheeled her relative out to the front. And similarly, for Tuesday, it's a call for you to pay attention. What's been right? And if anything, what do you want more of? Because the nice thing about Ten of Cups energy, Cups is about emotions and intuition, and also social connection and intimacy as well. The nice thing about Cups energy is it's very gentle. So whatever you need to do might not be as complicated as it looks. It could be very simple as a text or a phone call, or a voice message, or, for my lurkers out there, just showing up. So, not too much you have to do, but be present. So, continuing on to Wednesday, I got two cards for this one, so let's see what we got here. So, first we got the Eight of Cups. So, diving more into your emotions and going deeper and finding out why things are the way they are. Um, Ideally, chat with somebody, be it a close friend, a therapist, facilitator of some sort, journaling. But if you have to be on your own, like, maybe bare minimum, maybe like a voice note, a chat bot only if necessary, but don't make yourself entirely dependent on that chat bot. Just ultimately keep it to you. But emotional depth may be called for once you acknowledge what it is that has been working, because now we can dive deep on the answers that need to be heard. And it makes me think about this journaling question I got a couple weeks ago from my group therapist that talks about, what do you need to hear in this moment? Like, what do you need to hear? And you don't have to think about it as like your actual voices you see in everyday life. Although you can do that if it makes it easier, but it's more so in terms of, like, in an ideal scenario, or if maybe somebody could see, like, genuinely see what you've been going through up until this point, like in its entirety, or took the time to understand what you were going through. What would you like to hear to help yourself feel more present or feel better? Just what do you need to hear in this moment? Because sometimes what you think you need to hear, what you've been conditioned to hear, and what you actually need to hear are three different things. So, might be worth taking the time to examine and see what's going on in here. Remember the three brains I talked about yesterday? Three brains are here, here, and here. Different specialties. All very important. This gets overemphasized. This kind of gets trifled with. This one, mostly talked about in terms of food, but It does more than that too. But yeah, listen to all three brains, all three hearts. They're there for a reason. So that's one part of Wednesday. The other part, we've got the Page of Cups. So the Royals are really coming out today, aren't they? So Page of Cups, it's also a chance to practice with your intuition, how it shows up, and going deep, both in terms of what's been working and also what the emotional depths are, will make it easier to act upon what your intuition, your inner self knowledge is trying to say. Because there is inner mastery in here. And it's important that we tap into it. And especially now, I feel like there's been a lot more combat against hyperrealism, because realism has been abused. Realism has been abused as a mode of control, to not look at possibility. And I feel like it's been getting a bit of a pushback with whimsy, with humor, with romanticism. There is always a time for sense. I totally understand. And looking at somebody who's been hyper intellectual, but there's also a time for play, for inner understanding, for sentimentality, for sensibility. So, times where people and even societies try to knock that whimsy out of us, bring it back in, call it back in, tap back into it. Because, again, this is here for a reason. And hopefully we find out more with the next few cards here. We've got 4 of them. 2 of them are jumpers. But let's see how the rest of the week goes. So, Thursday, we got the Chariot. So this week, I mean, between the loads of cups and wands, well, we haven't gotten more wands yet, but we'll see what the rest of them. But I have a feeling there's going to be more wands coming up, maybe one sword. Feel free to predict down below in real time if you happen to be watching this later. I feel we're going to get either more cups or some wands and at least one sword. We got three cards here. But getting back to the Chariot. The Chariot is about victory and emotional temperance and equanimity. Because the Chariot especially is under the sign of Cancer. And that is about emotional sensitivity. Emotional sensitivity and awareness. And triumph over obstacles. And maintaining your confidence. Because, I mean, there's a lot of emotional diving that is being called for this week, especially since we just started a new lunar cycle just yesterday. So this is the groundwork that you are setting towards the full moon. And also, the Chariot is also a reminder of your inner power, because like when you have power over your mind, how the world works looks very different. once you get mastery over these two things. Not mastery as in like power over, but mastery as in power of. Because there might be some times where you just like you don't have to react for the sake of reacting, but more so reacting because, well, in a way, it's what you need to do. How do I explain it? Okay, let me run it back here. Best way I can describe this. Most of the time, whenever we go through this life, especially once we hit adulthood, certain phases of adulthood, there's a tendency to feel like that's just the way it works and I'm just going to have to conform and deal with it. But there's still a little bit, there's always still that little bit of young impetuousness, even if you happen to hit like your midlife or your elder years. There's still a little bit of that youth impetuousness. I mean, what am I saying? Like, what am I saying here, considering that I'm in my early 30s? So, but I work with a lot of elders too, so I kind of can say this from partially from witnessing. But there's still a little bit of that youth impetuousness saying that like it doesn't have to be this way, and they're right. It doesn't have to be. The difference is perspective in some ways, because once you realize that a lot of these limitations are just imposed. I said a lot, not all. But once you realize a lot of them are imposed rather than natural law, things open up. You kind of realize there's actually so much more that I can do. Now, I have to acknowledge maybe like the social and financial limits, and sometimes even, well, psychological and neuro limits can make it harder to access that kind of space. But that access is still there for all of us, independent of the oppressions and the systems that we are under. And once you remember that power and that magic is inherent to you, watch how things open up. And you are not alone in this journey. A lot of the stuff that I talk about in these readings, I may seem to couch myself as some sort of expert with my education and my knowledge and my privilege. And yet, I'm on the same learning curve as you guys. So you're not alone. So a lot of the stuff that I tend to say in these streams, I'm reminding myself too. It's knowledge that we all need to remember, and if you don't remember it, we need to learn it. So getting back to the chariot for Thursday, all that work you've done in the beginning of the week of reminding yourself of your passions, what's been working, the emotional depths you can dive into. Remember that you have so much inner light and inner power and sensitivity within you that it's okay to tap into it. So now we get to Friday. Got 3 cards left. So it didn't really turn to a playlist so much as, well, a playlist so much as a single track. So more like a single. Um Funnily, okay, so far I'm right. We got another wand here, Queen of Wands. And excuse me. Pentacles. Sorry to mention Pentacles here. So Pentacles are more like 3D stuff, but then also physical dedication to the project, to the cause, like actions. Wands, I also see it as like the emotional drive. the passion, the motivation, the devotion, the why you do things. Pentacles are more about the how. Wands are more about the why. And the why, part of it is confidence. And this week is about cultivation of said confidence. And since you cultivated more power, the reminders of your power the day before, maybe have like I just have a suggestion here, have a power symbol, be it a drawing, a sigil, some your favorite quote. For me, it's jewelry or an item like this, like a crystal, or even earrings that I'm not wearing tonight, surprisingly. But reminders of your power, or even a color. Color's another good one. Color's especially a really nice one. Anyway, reminders of your power will make it easier to remember that you can handle any situation, especially the things that make you feel like as if, nah, bruh, this is too much. I gotta peace out. The fact that you're able to know when to peace out, that's power, okay? Sometimes knowing how to walk away from something that's not working, that's power, okay? Some people just stick around in situations that they know deep down they shouldn't be sticking around in. And it sucks. I've been there. But knowing when to walk away is just as powerful of a skill to have. So remember that. And then also knowing when to push through when the doubts might be kicking in or the fatigue might be kicking in. Knowing when to push through, knowing when to pause, knowing when to walk away. 3 skills that are valuable. But the self-knowledge and knowing you can handle these things, that's valuable. That's important. And knowing that we're starting with wands, we're starting with the knight, ending with the queen. And then in between, it's all these cups. Getting the time to take the time to know yourself, what motivates you, and what you can act upon. That's important. That's valuable. And knowing that you can do it. That's important. Okay, so that's the week. There's 3 more cards, a couple more tarot cards I got for you for this week. And then I've got my Queen Herbie prescription in case you want to listen to some music to get you through. Hopefully it's a track that I know, but sometimes, and also reminds me, I really need to take the time and actually listen to all the tracks. Sometimes the ones that I don't know can often be just as fun. So let's see what we got. But anyway, back to the tarot cards. So a couple of jumpers that we got here. Okay, so I was kind of wrong. There was a pentacle that popped up. The 6 of Pentacles here. So another part that you need to look at besides, well, actually, in connection to what's been working, you also need to look at the dynamic and also your relationships in particular. So it kind of hints between like Tuesday and Wednesday. You need to look at how you give and receive. Being the beneficiary and the benefactor. The cycle of giving and receiving. It doesn't have to be a perfect proportion, but at least it's got to be a proportion that you can live with. Because whether as the benefactor or the beneficiary, there are going to be points where you tap out, be it from giving or receiving too much. Because, yeah, there is such thing as receiving too much. Like, hey, I don't have enough room in my house, or I'm not going to be able to use all this. Please pause. Let me at least digest everything that I've got, and then we'll keep going. Or it's like, or more often than not, I've done too much. I need to rest. I've spent too much, I need to rest, etc. Knowing what works for you at this juncture, because it's not that's the other thing. It's not going to be forever what that energy is. Sometimes you might be in my 20s. I was very high in the giving, in the beneficiary aspect, because in some ways I could afford to do it. But now in my 30s, it's like now I'm kind of realizing like, hey, I gave almost too much in my 20s. I need to actually get to know myself again and let myself receive a bit more. And so I think some of my old streams might still be up if you look through, and I can already tell the difference in terms of how I've been approaching this. Because like in the past it was very much very people pleasy, very bend over backwards. Not blaming her at all. I mean, there were still really good streams too, but it was just very different energy. It was very much a, I guess to like say a Destiny's Child song, it was more like cater to you, like very devotional. And now I'm trying to not swing the other extreme of like me, even though it is my channel or my show. But I'm trying to do better in treating myself like the star that I am, while simultaneously caring for this community that we built up. We literally have a small village here. 102 people on Twitch, 71, maybe at this point 72 people at the time that I'm recording this on YouTube. Some of the people are the same people, so I acknowledge that maybe my numbers will be a bit off. But this is just the data that I see right now in front of me. Got the ballpark of the 70s in the YouTube, and 102 on Twitch as I'm recording this video. And the other thing that I'm really enjoying about this era is that it doesn't have to be, if you want to shine, you have to self-sacrifice. It doesn't have to be that way anymore. Now it can be a co-creation where we help each other. It's a dependency in a way, yes, but also it's a co-creation. We help each other. You help us shine, and we in turn give back to you the skills that we have that help us shine in the first place. And also, you get the benefit of those skills that will help you shine too. It's co-creative. And the nice thing is as well, like that was the part that I often feared when it comes to platforms like these, is sometimes there's this sense of like, we need you, like I need you more than you need me. And it's not really about need, it's just more so like we understand each other. We see each other. The fact that we're here in the same space, it goes to show that there's things we do share. Even if we have different beliefs, different regions, different experiences, there's an exchange of experiences, exchange of energy. And so that's another thing that can be a call for you to pay attention to as you navigate this week. And our final tarot card, let's see what we got. It is no swords, but more cups. So I was kind of right, but I was very wrong. There are no swords today. But it's good. 3 of Cups. So a continuation of 2. Continuation of the group dynamic. Teamwork makes the dream work. Remember to come together. There are many aspects of yourself because we all contain multitudes, even those who are not non-binary or two-spirit. We contain multitudes. Incorporate those into your life. Look at them. Enjoy them. And also, again, look at what's working and look out for your cheerleaders, because those cheerleaders mean so much to you. Okay? Don't be afraid to embrace them. And so, your Queen Herbie prescription. Let's see if I know the song. I have a feeling I might not, but I am willing to be proven wrong. Okay, let's see. Actually, I know this one. I know this one. Gucci. Say what you want to say. I got expensive taste. I know. Brand name, but the one message that I get from this song whenever I hear it, know your worth. Know your worth. You do not have to go. You do not have to go brand names per se, but what's your equivalent of that kind of luxury or that kind of comfort that you could put in your life and bring that in? So, okay, so there you have it. There's your song right there. And there is your Oracle forecast. Managed to do that in under an hour. I feel pretty good. Gonna follow my own advice here. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and take a little bit of a stretch break, and then we will open up the floor for readings. So stay tuned, everybody. Gonna put on some music from Chill Hop, and then we shall continue on with tonight's pools. So stay tuned. So, like I said earlier, music is signal for reading time. So if you want to jump in, go ahead, add yourself to the queue. I'll be back. Okay, so stretched out a little bit. I feel pretty good. So we are going to go ahead and open things up for readings. So for those who are familiar with my Seer Saturday stuff, the rules pretty much apply the same way. Of course, it's going to be much shorter. So basically, you can more or less ask me anything. But there are a few parameters you're going to have to keep in mind. Number one, no third-party surveillance. I don't presume people's actions. Will they, won't they? Is this person cheating on me? No. Vibe checks I can do, but presumption? No. Because you know what assuming does. You know what assuming does. Even me with these cards. We know what it does. Next, no health readings. I could probably give you a bit of advice in terms of like how to recover, but I'm not a health expert, or a vibe of what to look for when you're looking for a care team. I believe in collaboration, not substitution. So this is not substitution for any mental health stuff. And I have to say, in terms of where I live, it is considered entertainment, but I also consider it a spiritual medium as well. So there's that. And most importantly, remember that you have power and free will. So if anything feels like bunk, throw it out the window. I am not going to be offended. Okay? Because the key thing is I want you to feel empowered by the end of the day. By the end of the reading. I want you to feel better than when you came in. That's my goal. Hello, G-Rock. Good to see you tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, with that, the table is open. And for those who are tuning in on the Twitch side of things, there's a little bit of a special thing that I've added for you guys. There are some people who are asking, yeah, you have channel points, but I want you to use them. So I was like, okay. So I added some stuff there. You can ask me to hydrate. You can ask me to snack on stuff. You can ask me to stretch. There's also different reading types that I can do. And Muso Patty Occult Tarot, thank you so much for the follow. I like your name, by the way. So I do Clow and Sakura card readings, tarot and oracle for 10 points, runes and chakra checkups for 20, and you can also ask me to trust my instincts for 50 if you want me to just see whatever calls to me. I mean, it's still going to happen regardless, but like if there's anything like in particular you want me to pull, or if you just want me to just wing it, so to speak, I can totally do that. You can also ask me to promote stuff, because frankly, I am terrible at promoting my own material, even though I have this below. There are some points in chill streams sometimes that I just turn all the promo stuff off. But yeah, I forget to talk about that stuff. So if you want to remind me, give me a nod. Spend some channel points towards that. If you also want to promote yourself, or you want me to highlight something of yours, you can use the self promo cost. So yeah, I highly recommend, if you are on the Twitch side especially, please join the queue with the !join command. Right now I have like 4 people that have not tuned in a little bit, but they are going to be like prioritized once they get on. But for the most part, it's open. So G-Rock, looks like you are the first person. It's okay. You spent the amount that you wanted. So, all right. Oh, thank you. Okay, so G-Rock is my first person tonight, and you want a general using tarot. You got it. Hello, Pink Lemon. Welcome to the stream. So you are after G-Rock. And so I'm going to go ahead and get things going for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. And feel free, for those who are on the queue and you feel like, oh, wait, I have to go early or something comes up, feel free to just spend your channel points, ask your question, because I'm going to pull for you regardless if you're present or not. That's a little bit of a difference between between me and some readers is that I do not mind pulling if you're not present, because the key thing is you get the information that you need to know. Okay, so the video will always be up. If it happens to be taken off by Twitch, but due to the time limit, it will, like, I always simulcast. So if you don't see it here, odds for you, you're going to see it in my YouTube channel, DJ MK Off the Air. It's always on here as well. That one never gets deleted. So yeah, if you want a reading, but you're not able to stay for the whole time, that is totally fine. Just put your question up, and I can do it. I can still do it for you. Okay. That is the one difference that I have. You can be here and ask a question. You don't have to be present for the entire thing. It's just the key thing is just you asking your question and I can answer it. And if you're not present, but you jumped on the queue, you basically have until next Saturday to tune in and take your place. Otherwise, it'll get deleted. I had to delete one person because they were a bit past the deadline, but they can rejoin later, so that's okay. And then 4 people joined yesterday. Wait, did I do just? I have to think about my other problem is I tend not to watch my replays too much, so I need to do that. But I feel like I might have done another person here. Hello, Psychomantis. Yes, thank you, Pink Lemon. It's all right. And hello, Psychomantis. Readings are open for business. If you join in the queue now, you'll be person number 3. So if you want one, or if any lurkers want one, you are welcome to join me. And then for my YouTubers, you can just ask a question in the chat. I don't need star signs or anything. You can just ask whatever question you want to ask. Because I am getting more YouTubers again, and I haven't had that in a long time. And I had a little bit of a mistake last night. If y'all saw, last night I was doing I did a reading for Scorpio too, and then I thought Scorpio opened up a second account, because some people, if they don't have subs, they will jump on my YouTube channel and watch simulcast there. If it get interrupted by ads, they can just like roll back to where I was and listen there and then keep going. And then where was I? Shoot. But yeah, long story short, I had this moment where I thought I read for everybody, and so I closed off the stream, and then the YouTuber was like, "Wait, what the heck?" And it's like, I haven't got my reading yet. I was like, "Oh my god, I thought you were like the same person I saw on Twitch. I'm so sorry." And then I had to like roll it back and then do the reading for this person, then finished it. So I kind of expedited it a little bit, but that was awkward. So I'm gonna try and be better in paying attention to like who's doing what, and not presume that like if somebody has an astrology username that they switched over to a different username in the other channel, because it has happened. It really has happened. All right, so with that, G-Rock, here's your general check-in. Let's see what messages pop up today. Okay, so here we go. Oh, I was definitely holding my... Alright, no? I wasn't holding my deck upside down. Weird. Because I don't typically use reversals, but if a card comes up in reverse, usually it kind of tells me to like, okay, let me pay attention. Because sometimes I do shuffle things, and it pops out in reverse. It's like, okay, I need to pay attention, clearly. So it's more often if I do shuffle and it pops out reverse, then it's like, okay, let me pay attention to this. But otherwise, I don't typically do reversals because I already like think of both meanings already in the back of my mind. So with that out of the way, so Four of Cups, sorry, not Four of Cups, Four of Wands. Goodness gracious, I can speak. Four of Wands, it came out in reverse. So typically it's about like celebration or um or success, and it's kind of like there's also a little bit of there's in a way a little bit of pressure as well to kind of keep up with your with like the performance that you were expected to have initially. So there's a little bit of that pressure I'm feeling like with the reversal, or I guess in a way a bit of a hesitancy to celebrate or a bit of a fear of celebration, because then there's kind of this fear of resting on your laurels, or maybe there might have been, I might be projecting a little bit because I have been reading a lot of books about this, or like reading all stuff about this kind of part. There's maybe there might have been some conditioning about prematurely celebrating, and so there's kind of a bit of a hesitation of celebrating your successes because like things might have gone wrong after celebration, so to speak. But Four of Wands, and I think even like the pull that I did for this week's Oracle forecast, it's a call for you to like be okay with actually enjoying what it is that you've worked towards, what it is that you've done up until this point, and allow yourself to celebrate what you've worked towards and trust that you will be able to maintain the results, whatever that success or the results may be. Or maybe maintenance might not even be a factor. It's just a one and done, and you're just on to the next thing. Like, thanks for finishing this adventure now with me. Now go and find a new one kind of situation. So that's one part that could be here. But let me read the other three cards I got for you, and that should give me some more answers as to what's going on here. So next we got Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles has been popping up quite a bit recently with this collective. So Ace of Pentacles, it's about new opportunities. And in case you didn't tune into the Oracle forecast earlier, so my approach with like the Pentacles and the Wands in particular have been evolving recently. It's pretty interesting. So Pentacles, I mean, there's still some things that are the same. Like, I still think about it in terms of the material plane, but also I think about it in terms of the mode of doing things, the opportunities that are right in front of you. And aces are about the beginnings of said opportunities. So there's something new coming in, a new chance, a new opportunity that's coming in, and it's important to keep your eyes open in terms of what that is. And most importantly, to let yourself enjoy those opportunities, because again, with the way the world tends to work sometimes, it can make it feel as if that you can't really celebrate like so overtly or so openly, when really celebration is how you let out enough energy that you can let yourself produce what it is that you are here to create, or who you want to be in this life. So yeah, let yourself celebrate your accomplishments, and especially if you have a tendency to downplay, all the more reason why you should celebrate, because then the reactions won't be disproportionate, especially if things kind of go sour. So case in point, the next card I got for you is the King of Wands. And when it comes to the royals, or like the court cards, it's about, when you get to the court cards territory, especially when you get towards the kings and queens, it's about mastery. And King of Wands, it's a mastery of passion. Ace of Pentacles, like Pentacles are about how, and the Wands are about why. Now, mastery of passions doesn't mean like a tamp down, but more so a controlled focus. Like far from Sagittarius, like a bow and arrow, like knowing how to aim your shot and hit the target, and inspiration and embodiment, especially embodiment of your power and your authority. So whatever time period you cover that with this reading, it is very much a call for paying attention to where you feel powerful and cultivating the skills that contribute to said power. And most importantly, that even with that cultivation, your power is not dependent. It's not dependent on that skill. It's a manifestation. It's one manifestation of your power. It's not the only manifestation. So that's the thing that you have to remember with these, is that we are all multidimensional beings, and therefore we have to remember that we have multiple modes of power. This may be expressing one or two of them. But the point is, remember your why and act based on it. So the final card that I got for you, G-Rock, is the Three of Cups. And it's a call to remember who your friends are. That you've got people in your corner. You've got so much support behind you. And again, teamwork makes the dream work. The right people will show up when you need them. And also to again, another mode of celebration. And remembering that there is a community, there is a team, there are things supporting you, and you're not alone. And there's so much you and your friends can do. So, yeah, I mean, overall, I'm feeling pretty good with this reading. And I think the only thing that really I'm seeing to watch out for, especially since this one came up reversed, is to allow yourself to feel your joy, know your worth, celebrate the things that you've accomplished, because they deserve celebrating. So, all right. Hope that answered your question, your general check-in, and I wish you all the best. So with that, that's person number 1. So Pink Lemon, you are our next person here. You also asked for tarot, and this is your question here. What does the guy I'm talking to think about me? I'm worried he's not over his ex, but I do tend to overthink. Essentially, I wanted to know where his head was at. Thank you. I appreciate your time. Oh, you are so welcome, G-Rock. So, unfortunately, Pink Lemon, it is hitting a little bit of third-party surveillance, because it is presuming that, like, what his thoughts are. But I can tell you, what I can tell you based on that question is the vibe of where he could be at, but ultimately, this is where communication comes in. If you have your concerns and fears, it's important you talk it out with the people you trust, especially your partner and whatever support system you've got. Because keeping it in your head, it's not going to be too helpful. But I can give you at least what you could work with or keep in mind during this time. But yeah, like breaking up over somebody especially, it's like breakups especially, that takes time. Apparently, like recent research came out that it might take about maybe like an average of 3 years for an ex to be out of your system, but it mostly depends on like how long you've been with this person and the nature of the relationship. Because I mean, obviously, if it was more amicable, it might go by a bit faster, but it might emotionally, there still might be a little bit of a tether going on. Because there might be like certain habits that you have with this person that you kind of still hang on to a little bit until you realize like, oh, I'm not with this person anymore. And even with our knowledge, like with our like immediate knowledge, knowing that it's not that we're not this person, or like whatever interaction we have is not the same with this person, with our bodies and our subconscious, it might take a little bit for it to catch up a little bit. You know, so I recommend patience, especially if an ex is involved a little bit. And also, again, again, communication, or just even just a simple, are you okay? Or what's been going on? I've been concerned, and just see what he says. Just show that you're there for him. So that's number one. And number two, with these cards here, let's see what we got. So we've got the Nine of Wands here, first and foremost. And please take this with a grain of salt too, because I mean, again, don't want to presume. It's bordering on third party, but I'm trying not to presume third party. Hello, Luvez. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for coming back. So Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands, I kind of feel like it's like the threshold of success. Like, it's like you're so, like, he's so close to something, or like so close to like completing something or succeeding something. It's like, to me, it's the last push card, where it's like, I'm so close to this feeling or so close to this sense, and I just don't know when the progress will hit. Now, in terms of relation to your question, it could be, maybe you're right. Maybe there is an ex that he's trying to get over, and he might be close to actually getting over said person. But again, I never like to presume somebody's thoughts, because I could be wrong. But I just have the feeling that he's on the threshold of something major. What that is, I can't tell. But he's on the threshold of something. So that's the one thing I can tell. Here's what some of the other stuff that I got for you. We've got the Eight of Pentacles, which is usually about dedication, usually apprenticeship or devotion to a skill or a task, skill acquisition. So I don't know if it's a reference to him, like in terms of like what he does for work, or for yourself, that maybe there could be a chance for you to maybe like try an activity with him, or even an activity for yourself, like something that you've always wanted to try but just didn't have a chance to until now. The thing is, I don't want it to go into the, and this is the other reason why I don't really do like third-party surveillance stuff, is because I don't want it, because it's very clear with the way you ask your question, you're also are concerned about gaslighting yourself into thinking that like something's wrong and maybe it isn't, or vice versa, that maybe nothing's wrong but something is wrong. So the key thing is, I don't want to invalidate your thoughts or invalidate your experiences, if that happens to be the case. So that's why I don't really do third party surveillance stuff like this. So, because I don't like to presume, because I mean, again, I don't have data. I could be completely wrong here. But what I'm seeing so far is that there's a sense of like, there's some sort of project or something that he's working towards that he's so close to finishing. It's just, it's not there yet. It's just like, it's really close. Whatever that is. So, other vibes I'm getting. Let's see. So we got Temperance. So it's very much about like elements of control and taming natural forces, or harmony and equilibrium and healing. Trying not to dive into an extreme into a pendulum of extremes, and putting those forces towards a purpose or a goal, or being honest about the paradoxes that he's experiencing. So that's another part here. It's like, not really, because like, rather than trying to force apart whatever paradox it is, it might be instead better to like work the paradoxes together. So this is again where communication, I think, is going to be very important here. And if you don't feel comfortable communicating for any reason, be it personal experience or maybe past things that you might have come across with him, understandable, and yet simultaneously you don't want to go on a relationship on the foundation of pressure. You know what I mean? Or self-suppression. That was what I was trying to say. There we go. Sometimes it's like I get partway there and it's like right there. Okay. So last card for you, Pink Lemon. It's the Seven of Swords. So I feel like it's a message and a warning for both of you. The underlying question with the swords, with the suit of swords in general, is victory at what cost? And the Seven of Swords, it's usually about like sabotage or subterfuge. Subterfuge is the more accurate of the two, actually. It's like subterfuge, like trying to get away with something without actually getting noticed that you got away with it. And it's just something that's like, it's not yours to take on per se. So it's very important that there's a bit more objectivity, so to speak. No, not objectivity. The only word I can think of is equanimity, which is more like a, it's like a bit of a observance of what the emotional turmoil is coming underneath. So with the place of calm, like, there we go. Okay, there we go. I was trying to get the words. There we go. I got it. So Pink Lemon, the best piece of advice I can give you in terms of what he and you may be going through is, if you are concerned about the nature of your relationship, the best way you can do with this is rather than solely run on this or like any other readers to like give you a sense of comfort and reassurance. Come at the situation with a sense of inner calm and open inquiry, because it's important, again, that whatever your nature of the relationship of this person is, you come at it with a sense of trust and openness, and not already with like the boxing gloves already on, so, or bandages on the side. So I say the biggest thing I could say is like approach as equals. That's the big thing that I can really give you in terms of your question. From what I'm seeing, again, don't like to presume. I'm leaning towards he's getting over something, and he's like on the threshold of getting through it. Whether it's an ex or something at work, I don't know. But there's something that he's pushing through, and he's almost there. He's in the one last threshold. So I say, do a simple check-in. If you feel safe to do so, be honest with your feelings, and you got this. I think you got this, okay? I think your heart's in the right place. I think just a simple check-in would be a good place to start, and then go from there. Okay? I hope that answers your question. Thank you for tuning in. So Fern is up next. So Luvez, that did take a lot out of me, I will say. But if I still have energy and we don't hit up to 7 people tonight, so right now, between G-Rock and Pink Lemon, and now Fern, and then Terror, that makes it 4. So if you jump on the queue now, that guarantees your spot at least. But yeah. Okay. So you're pulling abundance and 10 of cards cups for me. Wonder what's coming in exactly and how do I receive it? That's a good question, because like even I'm kind of wondering. And ooh, okay, you want runes. Okay, let me pull them out of the drawer. And also, Terror, welcome to the stream. I just noticed it was the first time here, so welcome. Thank you for joining us. All right, So let me get the runes real quick. I store them in a drawer, so it's a little different storage method than I do with my cards. Oh, it's a little hot. It's a little hot up here. Okay. So for terror, since you're new to the chat, I'm going to explain to you once again how this works. So usually I do full out, like the more full out stuff during Saturdays, but on Sundays I open up the stuff to, I open up the queue to 7 people essentially during the weekends, and you will be read regardless if you're present or not, as long as you actually, number one, give me consent to do so. I mean, you jump into the queue, raise consent, but number two, if you have to leave early for any reason, if you submit something for me to pull, I will pull for you. So I'm not like other readers where they're like, if you leave and it's not live, then I'm not going to read for you. I'm not that kind of person. If you have to leave for any reason, you will remain on the queue until the next stream, after which you will have priority pulls. Since you jumped on the queue tonight, you will have a priority pull up until the next week, essentially. So you basically have until like the next tarot stream to like get your reading. You'll have top priority, after which if you don't tune in by the end of Saturday or Sunday, then you're gonna have to jump back on like you normally would. Reason why the queue looks a little full right now is because 4 people joined on last night. I have a feeling I might have read for one person, just forgot to take them off, but 3 other people jumped on last night but didn't get their readings, so hopefully they tune back in by next Saturday. The systems works pretty well so far. The channel points thing of like what kinds of readings that I do only came in recently, so feel free to take a look and see if there's any particular ones you want me to do, and then I can do that. The runes I only recently started pulling out, so... Well, not recently. I've had these for a long time. It's just like I just haven't had a chance to really pull them out more recently, so I just started adding them to the requests, and so far it's been pretty popular, so I'm glad that people like them. Shout out to my women's retreat that I go to for my local UU. They actually gave this away. They were giving away a lot of spiritual tools, and the runes are one of them. So I got three runes for you, and they all came out upright, I'm happy to say. So Pink Lemon, I actually already did your reading. I did your reading just a little bit earlier. But the video will still be up, so if you need to roll back, you totally can do that. I also have it on my YouTube channel. But yeah, I answered your question, so I hope it's helpful. Let me know. But yeah, long story short, yeah, no problem. Yeah, like, long story short, I feel like he's been trying to get through something, from what I can tell from that. But yeah, I say like come at it with open communication. More details are in the reading itself, so whenever you roll back after this is over, you'll see what I answered. So I hope it helps. So anyways, let me get back to Fern's rune reading. So, and they're all pretty good ones. So let's see what we got for you here. So, first one is... Hello. Welcome to the stream. I have to reload my chat because it just stopped working all of a sudden. There we go. Hello, Vulcan 3. I see a fellow Trekkie up here, so welcome. And you should tune in on Wednesday, because I'm playing a Trek game that day. And thank you for the follow as well. So, first up for Fern, for you, we've got Fehu. And it's the first one in the 8 of Freya. And it's about potential, wealth, and money. So, continuing the abundance theme here. So, Fehu is about cattle or movable wealth, such as money or possessions. When it's face side up, which it is, it's about prosperity, especially through your own endeavors, financial security, successful property negotiations, the reduction of financial problems, unexpected good luck. The challenge is the price that must be paid for change or happiness. That's the blank side part of it. You were listening to the Fehu by Wadruna. Wow, that's incredible. Okay. So, beautiful connection right there. But the basic meaning of Fehu is wealth, especially in the sense of money or assets built up through hard work and used when needed. Cattle were a mobile asset, so the Vikings took them along to the new lands. But the Old Norse rune poem warns that greed for money causes strife among kinsfolk, and so we should not be obsessed with making or holding onto money as at the price of happiness. This rune often appears in readings. Consider whether it relates to issues of emotional rather than financial security, and whether the true picture is being revealed. If the blank side appears, there may be questions surrounding divorce or family inheritances. When Fehu appears in a reading, it's a good time for any speculation or money-making schemes, especially involving ventures further from home, including the internet, and an improvement in any money worries. The blank side, which you did not get, I have to remind you of that, but I often read both sides anyway, so that way you get the full picture. The blank side says to balance financial or worldly security loss against peace of mind and freedom to live our own way. Not an easy decision, but future joy may be worth the price, both actual and emotional. If this change is not immediately possible, try to build up financial stability so you can move on when the time is right. Huh. So you're working on a work permit. Okay. So it could be an approval for the work permits. That's one part of it. But let's see how the other ones are. So I'm happy to say the second one, it's like a really good sign because it's one of my favorite ones to get. Besides Wunjo and Gabo. So next one is Rideho, which funnily enough, that is about work, growth, and present time. And that's also in the 8 to Freya. It's number 5. So let me roll forward a little bit. So Rido, or riding, the sun wheel and the wheel on the wagon. When it's upright, it means successful journeys, travel, relocation, taking the initiative, seizing an opportunity. Challenges, when it's blank side up, which it's not, but I like reading both meanings. Waiting for the ideal moment to act, which may never come. An inner restlessness leading to unwise change in the outer world for its own sake. Opportunities are at hand that may mean leaving your comfort zone, but which ultimately offers future success and fulfillment. The old rune poems contrast the ease of the ancient warriors in their halls, talking about old victories and battles, with the cold world outside where action is needed. We must do what we want now, rather than using phrases like, if only, and one of these days. Whether the move is an inner shift, a major job change, relocation, or visiting where you have always wanted to go. Reach out for what you most want now. And that is so funny because I was literally saying as much during my belt in a speech about how many times do we delay gratification unnecessarily when we could have joy in our present as much as in the future. Yeah, any variation of this, that's done. That is done. No more pushing it off is what I'm basically getting here. Let's see what else. When Rido appears in the reading, we can't sit around waiting for the sun to shine and happiness or fortune to fall into our hands, but must seize an opportunity that may involve effort and uncertainty. We can chart our own course and decide our destiny. Travel and career opportunities, relocation, and house moves will bring advantage, but there is the need to maybe take the harder but more rewarding path. If things are bad, this is a promise of better times coming. Others may not approve of changes we need to make, so leave negative people and situations behind. Blank side says that we may, with the best of intentions, be living the dreams of others. Many a parent has forced a child onto an unsuitable path as a way of fulfilling his, her, or their own unsatisfied desires. But if you are discontented, be sure that the change is outer circumstances and not a problem within that you will take with you. That is hilarious. You got to play it this time now. The last music party, the song you forgot that you wanted to play was Fehu. Okay. Remember to put that in. I'll start a thread for Friday's music party. So I host music parties on my Discord server, my little magic circle. And it is happening on Friday afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to jump in on that, you're welcome to do so. It's a chill stream. So we just like share tracks and we just listen to them, comment on them, etc. But yeah, here's the final one. I'm glad that the runes are giving you more solid answers, because I know like I'm pulling tarot and it's like I feel like I'm just not hitting something. And Just Darkness, welcome. Welcome to the stream. So you are prioritized a little bit. So Terror I'm gonna put after Fern, and then Luvez is gonna be towards the end because we're gonna finish off what we started yesterday. And then Vulcan, you're also new. So Just Darkness, I'm gonna put you between Terror and Vulcan, so that way you're a bit higher. And it also is pretty close to my cutoff as well, so I'm gonna close the queue because Fern makes number 3, and then Terror, you, Just, Vulcan, and Luvez, you just hit the threshold for tonight. So perfect timing that you jumped in. Thank you for tuning in. So getting back to your final rune, Fern, it is Awaz with an I, if you want to look it up yourself. And it is about the yew tree, inner journeys, strength, and stability. So I feel like it's a continuation of what we've been talking about over the past few polls that I've done for you, but I feel like also it's giving you a much more solid, I guess, things to really think about or go for. Because it's pretty clear now that like the new opportunity is career related from what I can see. And it's like, seize the time, Maribor, because now may never come again kind of vibe. So getting back to what the rune is, it is in the 8 of Heimdall. So between Jera and Perthrow. So let's see about Awaz. I pulled it yesterday, but I can easily read it again because I don't have this memorized. And it came symbol side up. And it means loyalty and love and friendship, the value of what is enduring, beginnings after endings, utilizing the resources you currently have rather than wasting time on regrets. And when it's blank side up, it means avoiding throwing away what is of worth because of excitement or a too good to be true offer. Because the yew is the longest living tree, it was adopted by the northern peoples as a symbol of longevity, tradition, and eternal life, and is called, in the Norse rune poem, the greenest wood in the winter. An evergreen promising life and hope, even in the dead season of winter. For this reason, this rune is also in the Icelandic rune poem, associated with a bow made from yew wood, as a symbol of new life from old, and reshaping what is existing, even if not ideal or as planned. When Awaz appears in a reading, like the death card in the tarot, this rune never foretells death, but rather sometimes unwelcome and inevitable ending to a situation or life phase. A new world is waiting, but it cannot appear until you have finished the old business, said goodbye either physically or emotionally, and allowed yourself to mourn. Value and give extra input to loyal friends, family, and partners. Any long-term study or training is favored. Listen to the advice of older people or experts. If the blank side appears, do not be tempted by a quick fix or exciting new friends, or even a flirtation if your relationship is in a dull patch. You are grieving, allow yourself to express your negative emotions rather than bottling them up. Let go of the old voices in your head. Yes, I did. And I even used a little bit of Sag imagery just earlier today with another reading. So that's kind of interesting that that's coming up. But yeah, the yew tree often is used for bows. back during the Viking period. So yes. But it's like, yeah, it's like a call for you to like reshape what is existing. So like, I guess maybe like the other thing that you might need to look at is look at what you're already doing and see what opportunities are there. It could be in terms of career, because I mean, like 2 of them were very career related. It can also be in reference to it could also be in reference to like the permit that you applied for as well. So that could be another thing that it could be talking about. But regardless, I'm feeling like with the runes, with what I pulled out for you, at least something that you can work on that can give you a bit more solid, is that maybe look at what you're already doing right in front of you. Like, see what you're looking at right in front of you and see what opportunities are there. It does not have to be confined to like financial stuff or like business, but it will certainly make it a whole lot easier. So these are the 3 that I got for you. Kind of looks like an FRS. Edward Ferrers. But anyway, hope that answers your question and gives you something more solid to work with. I feel like the runes definitely gave you something more that you can actually try out, because I feel like I was just scratching the surface with the tarot, and it's like this thing keeps coming up like something's happening, what's happening, what are you working with, and it's just not telling me that. But I think the runes kind of gave you more of a clue, so I'm really hoping the best for you, Fern. Saturn's mostly in your 8th, whenever that's related to anything. So 8th, that is about, let me pull up my receipts here. I'm not an astrologer, but feel free to like make astrology references if you're into that sort of thing, because I can break it down somewhat. One of my viewers, Starry Momo, is really into astrology charts. Like he can read you pretty well, I might add. So if y'all want to get a reading from him, go check him out. In fact, I will shout him out right now. And speaking of, hey Doc. Okay. So yeah, shout out to Starry Momo. He just recently started streaming back again so go check him out. I don't think he streamed tonight, but yeah, to answer your question, Fern, 8th house is about renewal, sex, death, and rebirth, transformation, deeply felt peak experiences, depth interactions with others, growth and change, as well as mystery, property, joint ventures and goals, assets, inheritances, shared finances, taxes, loans, and partners' resources. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a clue as to what to examine. But yeah. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I need to look at the jackpot. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, Fern. And I feel like we got some clarity thanks to the runes. So if you want me to try any other mediums in the future, go ahead and do that, because I am totally down to do that. So Terror, you are my next person, my friend. And thanks for the follow, Vulcan. But yeah, go ahead, Terror. Go ahead and ask your question. You're welcome. You're welcome, my lord. I need to get back to Stronghold. I did say yesterday that I'm going to go back to my old schedule, but don't be surprised if I pick up Stronghold again tomorrow, because, like, we are so close. Like, we are basically in the next Tyrant already. So I am ready and willing to play more. And this next mission is very hard because, goodness gracious, it's a fundraising mission. Like, those fundraising missions are tough, especially when you're being fired at every few seconds. And I also be down to play more Age of Empires. You know what? Should I just make like this week like a strategy game week? in addition to the Star Trek games. But anyway, Terror Triple X Terror Triple XZ. You're up next. If you happen to still be here. But yeah, like, it would be so much fun to, like, do more themed stuff. Because, I mean, the Star Wars themed stuff clearly was very popular. So, I would be down to keep going. Okay, it looks like Terror just left, unfortunately, from what I could see. But don't worry, if Terror does come back later, they're still on the list. So, Just Darkness, since I do still see you in the chat, if my data is correct, you are next, my friend. So go ahead, hit me with your questions. Tell me your secrets, ask me your questions. Of course, within reason. Tell me your secrets and ask me your questions. Excuse me. Okay, oh, we got an ad break coming up, so, I'm gonna send a message to peeps. Okay, there we go. So, I sent a message, so hopefully we should get something by or before the ad break. So, if neither one of them show up, they will be saved for the next stream on Saturday, so they don't lose their place. Looks like they might have left. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like they left. Sorry about that, guys. So looks like... So, I'm gonna bring them down. When they come back, we'll bring them back. So, Vulcan, my fellow Trekkie, you are the next person. Unless you are more of a fan of Hephaestus. Either way, that's cool. Yes. Because the two before you are not present, from what I can see. So, you are next. So, there's going to be a bit of an ad break, so I'm going to try my best not to read when the break comes, so that we don't miss anything important, even though the video will be up. And then Luvez will be the last person of the night, and that's presuming they come back. I have a question regarding mechanic working on my mini excavator. Wondering if he will get it fixed and running once he gets the lift pump part for it. I mean, one part is kind of like, well, he's working on it. But I guess in terms of, like, the nature of the job, I guess I could really look at the vibe of that. Because, I mean, part of, like, short answer, it's gonna get fixed when it gets fixed, so you're getting it. But then, let's just see what else is coming up here. And we're about to get to an ad pretty soon, so as soon as the ad breaks over, I will answer your question. Okay, so we'll be back. So feel free to check out my social media in case you want to check out stuff outside of my channel. So it's not the end. I just want something to at least show. And okay, Just Darkness, welcome back. So since you're back, you are after Vulcan, because I was trying to look for you. But yeah, we're about to get to an ad break, so we'll be back. So for those who are subscribed, thank you for tuning in. I decided to put my screen over here for now, so that way you can, like, see where you can find me. I mean, I could have put it on the black screen of, like, break time, but I figured it was better than unnecessary advertising. Catch my drift. Even though, ironically, this is unnecessary advertising. What am I doing? What am I doing? Plus, it'll make me forget to come back here, so, if anything. Oh, excuse me. It's pretty warm lately. And I definitely need to get dinner after this, for sure, so. I'm already a night owl, so hopefully I'm more adjusted when I get to Japan next month. Okay. Oh yeah? That's cool. Yeah, out of curiosity, Vulcan, like, are you a fan of Star Trek, or is it like career or Greek mythology related? Out of curiosity. Ah, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, the classic series is pretty fun, I gotta say. Honestly, I like all of them. Oh, no problem, Terror. You're still on the list. Don't worry. So you'll go after Just Darkness, and then Luvez, like, yours gonna take the most time, so that's why you're last. Yeah, I'm waiting for the ads to end. So I got another 20 seconds. Oh! Oh, Glad Gladiator! Yeah, in terms of the UK version, my favorite's Cyclone. And then in the US, and unfortunately, this was prior to finding out what her views were. But my favorite was the one by Gina Carano. I forgot what her gladiator name is, but I liked hers. From Modern American Gladiators. I heard that American Gladiators just came back, and I still need to watch it, but it looks good from what I've seen, like, clips on YouTube. Because, I mean, I thought one day I would end up on there. Maybe if I build up enough strength, I might be able to get back to it, so. Yeah. Yeah, Hulk Hogan, another... yeah, he twisted his legacy quite a bit. It's like, on the one hand, he made the wrestling world interesting, but on the other hand, just... oof. Really is an prime example of, like, if we're back at the peak of Tumblr days, he would be #1 on your favorite problematic. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it was the same thing with Chuck Norris. On the one hand, he basically was part of how martial arts films and TV shows really had a staple in American media, but with Walker, Texas Ranger. But on the other hand, super conservative. And I'm like, how are you doing this martial arts, especially like fighting with these legends like Bruce Lee and Sammo Hung, and you end up in like this end of the spectrum? Like, what the heck? It makes no sense to me. But anyway, Falcon, here's what I got for you. Me too. I grew up with that show. I grew up with that along with Diagnosis Murder with Dick Van Dyke, which dude's 100, is awesome and still dancing. And Martial Law. If you've never watched Martial Law with Sammo Hung, highly recommend it. I wish it got more seasons. Like, especially if you grew up with Rush Hour, you would definitely enjoy you would definitely enjoy Martial Law. Anyway, Vulcan, here's what I got for you for your card pool. So here's what I got. So first off, I got Ace of Pentacles. I think it's between this season, like this Taurus season, and just between this Taurus season and just, well, this new moon that we got in Taurus, I think this is just the vibe of Taurus. Like, there's new excuse me, manifestation opportunities, and I think especially since you talked about something work related, I think it's definitely, there's something about how you do things with your work that I think is going to have a new opportunity for you. So keep an eye out. Ah, you're a Taurus. Happy birthday to the Tauruses in the audience. Yeah, mom's a Gemini. My mom's a Gemini. So yeah, keep an eye out for new opportunities at work, because you never know. And also the Geminis in the audience too. Later on in the month. Happy birthday to you guys as well. In fact, my mom's birthday is coming up. Both your parents are Geminis. That is hilarious. My mom's a Gemini, and then I think my dad's an Aquarius. Yeah, he's an Aquarius. And I mean, he just gives off Aquarius energy too. Dude's classic Aquarius. That might certainly explain why we relate so well. Even though I'm a Leo. Both your parents are Capricorns. That is hilarious. Now I have to find out what their moon and rising signs are, just for the heck of it. But anyway, continuing on with Vulcan's reading. Next one we got the Four of Cups. And Four of Cups, I usually come across this when it's like, when there's kind of a hyper focus um, on like what's going on with the problems, that you're not recognizing what's actually working in front of you. And there's a tendency of like almost walling yourself off to the possibilities in front of you. So I think it's kind of a chance, considering the situation you have at work, it's kind of like a watching out for that, of like, make sure you're not getting too self-absorbed to the point where you're not seeing what's in front of you, and also not to get too stuck in despair or frustration. So that's the big thing that you need to pay attention to. I pulled a lot. I did not expect this. Okay. So I got 4 more cards for you here. So let's see what else we got here. So we got Death. And this is one of my favorite cards in this deck, because, I mean, they illustrated very much like how I think of this card, which is with the Phoenix rising from the ashes. So I'm feeling a new start and a new perspective is coming for you, Vulcan. So another thing to keep in mind as well as you are navigating this repair, or while you're waiting for the repair to be completed, is very much about paying attention to what is changing, and to let go of what needs to be released and make way for the new stuff that's coming in. Because, I mean, especially with the Ace of Pentacles, there's clearly something new coming in. The key thing is to have an open perspective. So let's see what these other ones are going to show. So we got the 9 of Cups, which is a focus on enjoyment. Like, now that you've gone through the emotional depths, it's a time for you to actually enjoy what it is that is in front of you, all of the wonders, and enjoy the pleasure and the satisfaction of the present moment and the people and the things around you. And remember that your work is paying off. So enjoy the bounty and the abundance and the pleasure that is in front of you. And yeah, and just really allow yourself to enjoy things, because those pleasures are there for a reason. So the other 2 cards here that I got for you, the main theme for these 2 is about dedication, is what I'm seeing. So the first card, this next card that I've got for you is the 9 of Pentacles, which is about a balance between the material and the spiritual realms. Because you kind of notice that, like, this pentacle here looks almost like a stained glass, in a devotional area or house of worship. And it's important that you appreciate what you already have, which, if you didn't tune into the Oracle forecast that I did earlier today, you can like scroll back a little bit this video as soon as the stream's over. But essentially, it's a call for you to pay attention to what's been working for you, as well as balance what is needed with what you feel good with. Because, again, rolling back a little bit earlier to even one of the readings that I did, how many times do we push off our gratification? Like, we delay gratification so much to the point where someday almost becomes an automatic natural phrase, and we forget to be present in our joy and in our experiences. So we almost forget that, like, joy can be here too. So it's a call for you to make sure you do your work-life balance. Make sure to have joy in your work as much as the requirement. And remember to be dedicated in your efforts. And the other mode of dedication that comes up here is the 7 of Wands. Wands are about passion. And in the case of 7 of Wands, it is very much about defending and protecting what is precious to you and what you believe in. Because especially if work has been calling for a lot of you or demanding a lot of you, definitely protect your time, protect your energy, and protect your resources, because you're doing those things within and outside of work the way you've been doing them for a reason. So it's important that you be brave and speak up for the things that you need and you want in this moment. And especially if it's something that is required for you to do your work well, it is their obligation to make sure they do whatever it takes to make sure that you do your work well. So you gotta defend that. You gotta defend that. But yeah, overarching, I think things have been fixed up. I think the big thing in the meantime, when you think about while you're waiting for things to be fixed, is there's some new stuff coming in. So be sure to not get too self-absorbed or get too absorbed in the problems. Remember the joyful things that are around you. Let go what you need to let go of, and protect what needs protecting. So that's the summary that I got for you, Vulcan. Hopefully that answers your question. No problem. That is no problem. Yeah, Runcy, one of my friends, she did a little presentation earlier today, and she used puppets. It was fun. Really, really fun. She did really good today. It was her first time doing it too. Okay, so with that, Just Darkness, you are my next person in the queue. So go ahead. Hit me with your question. Yeah, I'm going on a little longer than I predicted today, but you know what? Sometimes it is what it is. You read for as long as you have to read. Still a little bit short, but still covers everything I want to read. Oh, excuse me. And after this, I definitely need to get myself some dinner. For sure. Yes, I'm getting pretty hungry. I had a pretty big brunch. One of the parishioners brought this really delicious. I'm not a vegan, but he made this really delicious vegan shepherd's pie. And that was delicious. Oh my god. I should have taken some home. Yes. Yes, Just Darkness, it is your turn. Yes, indeedy. So go ahead and ask your question, and then you could also use the channel points down below if there's a particular medium they want me to use. Okay, you want to love reading. You got it. Yeah, are you particular about the medium? Because I got a couple that kind of came into my brain when you asked that question, actually. Okay, all right, I'll pick. Find this one. Okay, yeah, I'm feeling this one definitely. Okay. Ooh. Oh, that was a good one. Okay. I'm feeling one from this one. So it's a mixture of tarot, the energy oracle cards. I don't know why I keep on calling it energy muse, even though it's not. There's no muse in the title, or anything that will reference muse, but it's just called energy oracle. And the first card I pulled from that already, I'm feeling very good about it. Okay, for Just Darkness, can you give me something? It's not saying tarot. Okay, it's like no, rune. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm excited for you. Okay, here we go. Okay, so for Just Darkness or love. So first card I got for you is Door to Personal Healing and Happiness. I love the rainbow in this card. It's like there's like a happy ending around the corner. I love it. I'm here for it. All right, so let me go ahead and read this. New beginnings in your personal life. Upright, it means that it's a harbinger of positive change. The beautiful light-filled door opens into a lush, rainbow-lit spring filled with vibrant lotus flowers. Whether you're working on some inner healing, such as breaking an addiction, or looking to make some external changes, such as finding a new place to live, this card signals that your life is opening up and new opportunities are about to appear. The changes you've been working on are ready to blossom with wonderful results, so make sure you see your personal intentions through with continued action and optimistic expectations. I'm so excited for you. Okay, let's see what this other one is. Okay! Door to Spirit! Look at this! I never pull this one. That is pretty. Honestly, that is so pretty. I'm here for it. I'm excited for you, Just Darkness. And I also find it interesting that, like, the dove is consistent in both of them, and they're both coming through doors. So clearly something's coming for you, for sure. Okay, so here's what I got for Door to Spirit. Spiritual awakenings and new beginnings. So regardless, it's a new beginning coming through here. Upright. This door opens onto the expansive, energetic realm where all new beginnings originate. The orbs of light are guiding you through the clouds of the earthly world, leading you to a deeper understanding of your eternal identity, the source of all true value and power. This door opens onto truly unlimited potential, for the changes that happen here reach deep into the core of your being. As such, this card often heralds your increasing powers in the spiritual arts and a deepening connection with the spirit world. Don't be surprised if you find yourself becoming more intuitive, more aware of spirit's presence, or more powerful in your own healing practices. Now is the time to open up the unexpected guidance and inspiration of spirit and to the magic and power of your true identity. So yeah, I pulled it for love, and it's like it's twofold, interestingly enough. So what I'm seeing is, with the personal healing that you have undergone or about to undergo, I can't tell time, but whatever's been like a thing that you've been tapping into personally for your personal evolution, it's working, because now I think you're about ready, or pretty soon about to be ready, to step into love. And so the things that I'm seeing here is about making sure, in preparation for love to come in, is you try to maintain your optimism as much as you can. So that's number one. And number two, that you learn more and more how to tap into your intuition, because intuitive connection, be it to yourself and it's not or, be it to yourself and someone else, that's especially important, because oftentimes the things that are unsaid oftentimes will tell you just as much as what somebody says as well. So if anything, now during this time when you're preparing for a relationship, this is the time to sharpen your skills and sharpen your intuition and know what it says. Because once you know what your intuition is, you can't be messed with. You can't be reckoned with. If anything, a partner should meet you where you're at, as much as you meet them. Okay? So, next I got my season. It may have ran in my family until it ran into me. So, really good song, by the way. I love it. It's memed quite a lot. It's memed quite a lot actually on TikTok if you've never listened to the song. But like most of the time, like I think most of the time with like whenever it plays on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, the first line they often show is laughing while my whole life's collapsing. And then I think somebody in this chat said that they were on Aquarius or had Aquarius placements. But yeah, long story short, if you have Aquarius placements, this song's for you for sure. But long story short, another thing that you got to pay attention to as you're preparing for love is making sure that you are, like, whatever patterns that you may have learned, be it from your family or something else, make sure you unlearn as much of the stuff that's unhelpful to you, so that way it doesn't interfere too much with the relationship you have. So that way it makes it easier for a connection to occur. If it does come up during the relationship, which it might inevitably come up anyway, again, this is a chance for you to pay attention to your instincts and see if this is hold on, look at my rune book. Okay, right here. It was right in front of me the whole time. Anyway, it's a call for you to pay attention and see if they are willing to meet you where you're at, because that's very important especially when you come across a trigger, or you're going through a difficult time, or a thought pattern, or just something overall very difficult and unhelpful, where there could be a tendency of lashing out or getting really pissed off or not being our best selves in any way. Paying attention to, like, if, let alone how they stick through that. I see. But yeah. Yeah, part of it's embodiment. So, and I think also just paying attention, especially to, oh, your internet turned off. It's okay. You're next. You're after Just Darkness. So you came back just in time. You're all good. But yeah, I think getting back to you, Just Darkness. Yeah, definitely pay attention to, like, what common patterns pop up with pulling in uncommunicative people sometimes, because there could be repetition of, like, oh yeah, go right ahead. Yeah, go ahead and write down your question too, because you're right after this, so you're good. But yeah, paying attention to patterns might be a helpful way as well. But also, yeah, again, paying attention to your intuition and how it speaks is going to be important during this time, while you're still figuring out what kind of connection you want to have. Because, like, good communication skills, that's one part. What else do you want in a partner? So that's the one part. It's like you got to pay attention to how your communication style is. especially with how you see yourself. Because once you figure out how you've been seeing and experiencing communication with yourself, be it with other people or especially how you talk to yourself, that's one part that can probably fill things in. The other thing is paying attention to what your instincts say. I've got one more thing for you that hopefully should give you an answer, and it's a good one to get. It's kind of sad that like the Norse mythology and like the Asatru and Norse paganism community has been like really getting a bad rap because these symbols are really important. But you got Sawillow, looks like a lightning bolt, and it symbolizes the sun, and it's a good sign because it means self-confidence. So upright, it means self-confidence, health, happiness, travel, success in your chosen career field, fame, and fortune. When it's the blank side, which you didn't get, but I'm still going to read the meaning anyway, it means overemphasis on achievement in the world's terms and physical, emotional, or spiritual burnout. This is the third fire rune after Kinaz and Naudis. It is the rune of the sun, or the sun wheel, destroying the winter ice, making crops grow, and guiding seafarers. In the Norse world, where the sun was so precious, this is the most auspicious of runes for any aspect of life. It is seen in the Old Norse rune poem as light of the lands, while the Icelandic rune poem talks of the sun as the lifelong destroyer of ice and the hope and guide of seafarers and all who believe in themselves and seek adventure. Above all, it signifies the emergence of our own personal sun, our potential fulfillment and happiness. When Sawillow appears in a reading, the year ahead would be a very successful and fortunate one. Good for the fulfillment of any major ambitions and projects, for travel, and for long-lasting prosperity. It also represents fame and fortune, should you be pursuing any of the performing, creative, or literary arts. Believe in yourself. If the blank rune of the blank side appears, then maybe you're working too hard and feel that the quality of your life or relationships are suffering. Step back from the fast track for a time, take a restful vacation, or spend time in nature. So, the way you can attract a person with better communication is, well, focus on your vibe. So let's say your work is important to you. Make sure you focus on how you approach your work. Like, do you approach it with like the sense of like, just let me get the bare minimum done? Or is it, I really want to do the best that I can with the task in front of me? Or similarly with like the relationships you have already in your life, like how do you approach those people? Do you take the time to see them and communicate with them? Do you likewise also adjust to whatever communication style that they may have, whatever that may look like? So, yeah, but I mean, what I'm seeing here from what I pulled for you, Just Darkness, that there's a lot of opportunities for you in terms of this realm. And I think what you need to do at this time is pay attention to your vibe as well as your approach. And this time is a good time for you to learn communication in terms of inside yourself, especially when it comes to you and your instincts. So cultivate that relationship. Yes. I'm feeling that there's opportunities and options in terms of connection and in terms of knowing yourself. So self-knowledge is the big gateway in terms of how you get a chance to know others better. With you. Like, did you miss everything I just said earlier? So basically, long story short, this time, while you're still looking, this is a good time for you to get to know your intuition and your vibe among the people you're already around at this point. And then that in turn will make it easier to figure out how it is that you can show up in a relationship. because it's all interconnected. You may not show it the same way depending on people, but like certainly there's a connective thread between all those interactions. It's a web. So pay attention to those, see where you want to see the things that you want to, like, see the things that are working, see the things that you want to improve. Put the two together, eventually it'll make it easier to achieve the connections that you want to achieve. So, did I put the song in here? Yes, I did. Okay, it's right here. So, give that song a listen if you have a chance. If you're into music, that is. But anyway, that's what I've got for you. I'm hoping that is helpful to you. But long story short, like, love-wise, it's looking good, I think. I think you just need to give yourself just a bit more time. I think that's all you need to do at this point. I think so. Just be gentle with yourself as you go, okay? And believe in yourself. You're doing your best. Okay? Thanks for tuning in. Thank you. You are so welcome. Okay, Terror. Let's see what you got. So, me and the mother of my kids separated 2 years ago for the mistake I did, and 2 months ago she was talking to a man I found as friends, and then they had both crushes on each other. But then I asked her if I wanted to fix things between us, so she unfollowed him and stopped talking to him. Wanted to know if she thinks about him or still likes him. Terror, unfortunately, I will not be able to answer this question because that is hitting third-party surveillance. Not directly anyway. So the most I can give you for this question is maybe a vibe check between your relationship, but I cannot, and also I'm not exactly willing to read a person's thoughts. So that is kind of hitting my third-party surveillance territory of presuming somebody's thoughts, because I don't like doing those. Most I could do is maybe give like a vibe check as to how the relation between you and your partner is. Because I mean, if unfollowing occurs, sometimes there is a reason behind it. So I say communication. If you're not safe to communicate, oh, you got ads. Okay. No problem. We got recording here. But that's the big thing I always like to emphasize when it comes to relationship readings is communications. Because if you don't feel safe talking about certain things with a partner, I mean, there's some things where it's like they don't have to know in terms of like discretion, but there are some important things, especially when it comes to friendship dynamics, that you might need to know. And it's like, if you're not safe to do that, is it worth saving at that point? That's the thing. If you're not feeling comfortable even doing the important stuff. Uh-oh. It is going to be It is going to be interesting. For I talk about Univision. Okay. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, Terror, big thing I can emphasize here is communication. Because like, if you don't feel safe talking about, yeah, you missed the opening. I forgot. I have to repeat that every time whenever an hour passes. But essentially, one of the things I don't do is like third-party surveillance, like presuming somebody's cheating or whether they're thinking about a person, etc. Because I don't like assuming people's thoughts, because you know what assuming does. We don't like doing it. I especially don't like doing it with these, because that's a violation of somebody's free will. The most I can do is maybe like a general vibe check, but not so much like that kind of stuff. Like, I had a question earlier that kind of ran similar lines, but there was still kind of a workaround. But same thing with this, but this one especially was hitting the third party surveillance territory. So the most I could do is like a general vibe check of the relationship, but not presumption. But also it's kind of common sense too, because it's like ultimately, if you don't feel safe about communicating with your partner about certain things, then is it worth it at that point? That's one thing you got to think about. But with that said, I'll still pull for you because, like, unfortunately, I mean, I'm sorry I didn't, like, make that part abundantly clear. But yeah, I just don't like doing third-party surveillance because, like, those readings just never come out well, for one. And then for another, I do find most of the time people are just not ready or willing to hear what I have to say whenever I go that direction. I've been hung up on so many times when I've had to do questions like that. So it's awkward. But yeah, I could do the vibe check for you. Yeah, I did start working with like a phone line at one point this year. And yeah, long story short, if you don't pick the right one, it's an easy route to retirement for sure. Like at one point I almost gave up on readings entirely. Like, if it wasn't for me doing this on Twitch, if I didn't do Twitch at the same time, I probably would have given up already. These things would be in a box, in a donation closet or something. Like, that's how bad it got. Because, I mean, all the questions I kept on getting were about cheating partners. And it was like, it was painful. It was really painful pulling for those. Because, I mean, these are people who are at the most vulnerable, and I have friends who can answer those kinds of questions a lot better than I can. But yeah. Yeah, so Tara, I'm wishing you the best of luck with your relationship too, because, like, yeah, especially if you haven't been feeling like as if you've been considered number one in your partner's life, it's awful. And oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully with this, I think it should help you mend some mend and rebuild some bridges, okay? So here's what I got for you. So, first card I got for you is the Hermit. So, I say definitely take some reflection time, have some introspection, because that's especially important if you're gonna reconnect with this person. You need to do some deep introspection to make sure you're not gonna repeat the same mistakes that made it come apart in the first place. And it is especially important that you ask for guidance, listen to the people who have the examples of the relationship that you would like to have, and also especially tapping into what your feelings are. Because, I mean, there is a tendency to, especially when it comes to reunion and stuff, there's a tendency to sometimes want to over intellectualize to the point of dissociation. Don't get to that. Detachment, yes. Dissociation, no. So definitely take some time to reflect, and also both for yourself, by yourself, and with your partner. So that's number one. So number two, that's the Knight of Wands. That's interesting. So I feel like with the right openness and the right motivation, once you really reflect on what it is that you want in the relationship and what you two want to move towards from this point onward. Nine of Wands, I usually find it as like the last push for victory. And I think there's still a chance. I mean, granted, take it with a grain of salt, because I mean, I'm a single person. I've been single for a very, very long time. I am hyper independent as well. So please take it with a grain of salt. On the other hand, though, with what's showing up, the Nine of Wands, it's about victory. Just having one last push of dedication. And I'm seeing that I think this reunion could work out. The biggest thing that you gotta do is, well, for both of you, is be vigilant on whatever scenario could pop up. And most importantly, retain a sense of self-confidence. Because, like it or not, you two are going to be interacting with other people. And the two biggest turnoffs in most relationships, not most relationships, in a lot of relationships, is ignorance and jealousy. So it is especially important during your self-reflection hermiting period that you also look at your self-confidence as well. And confidence in the relationship itself. So that's number 2. Have confidence in your skills, have confidence in your partner, and have confidence in whatever dynamic you may come across that you will navigate towards the other side. Because part of this is also vulnerability. And vulnerability is scary, but it's also very necessary too. Because if you're not vulnerable, there's less of a chance for connection, for genuine connection. And again, if she unfollowed and stopped communicating, there might be a valid reason for that, whether it's out of respect for you, could also be out of fear. Because that separation could have happened for a reason. So you got to pay attention to what your dynamic was. Because your frustration, your fear, your anger may come from legitimate reasons, but how you act on it, that's the part you got to watch out for. Again, a separation happened for a reason, so it's really important that you pay attention from these two alone. That's the call for you if you are going to reunite with this person. And okay, I'm feeling really good about this, Terror. So I think if you take the time to introspect, and you also take the time to really pay attention to your dynamic, make sure that you are not falling down the patterns that make you fall apart in the first place, I think things will resolve itself, because I got justice. I think things will resolve if you pay attention. So I think the focus at this point is to make sure you're working with your partner and you're taking responsibility for your feelings and especially your actions. And making sure you're looking at the whole picture, not just what you think or what you want to see. See the situation as it is in front of you. Is she acting out of fear? Is she acting out of genuine love for you? Is she acting for the sake of, because she's a parent, so she could be acting out of the sake of your kids. Keep some logic in mind. Have your 3 brains: mind, heart, stomach, your gut. Have them all work together. You're writing her paragraphs, sorry notes, and love notes, and been doing little stuff for her, because back then I never did that. I kind of been lazy about it, and she likes that. Good. Can you maintain it once you're back together? Because the last thing you want to turn into is love bombing and then one more reason for her to walk away, okay? Make sure when you do those things, you actually mean it. That's the number one thing. I mean, I could tell you're a very introspective person, so it's important that whatever habits that you establish when you're trying to bring this relationship back together, that it's stuff that you're able to continue once you are together. Reestablish a much healthier dynamic through self-examination and through the actions you've taken so far. And I think things will resolve. Okay? You can't expect to go back to the way things were before. She's going to talk to who she's going to talk to, and you're going to talk to whoever you're going to talk to. The biggest thing is being confident in yourself and each other. And then eventually the depth will come. And that's important. The fact that you know you made a mistake, that's already a lot of progress, I think. That you remember what you had and what you almost lost. So remember her autonomy and remember yours. Respect it. And I think things will be okay. That's what I'm feeling. So, best of luck, Terror. I really hope things work out. And again, pay attention to your 3 brains. Mind, heart, gut. You're so welcome. And with that, final person of the night here. Louves Savoie. I'm not seeing Louves. Yeah, I don't think I see Louves. Louves Savoie-san. Loko. Loko desu ka? Okay, so with that, I think I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's Oracle Forecast. I went a little longer than usual, but I think we definitely needed the depth for today about what this kind of stuff means for each of you, because I feel like this Taurus season is really going to be a depth of manifestations. But in a different sense, not in the pop cultural sense. So I'm hoping that whatever comes up during this season and whatever comes up during this week, that I hope this makes it easier to navigate. So next time here, it's going to be most likely odds are good. Oops. I did not mean to keep this, but you know what? Let's keep it to this for now. I might come back tomorrow for either Age of Empires or Stronghold, because I need to play more of that. But the second half of the week, at least, I got stuff that I'm going to be streaming on here. So Wednesday, in honor of Janeway's birthday, her birthday's May 20th, I'm going to be playing Star Trek Online for the very first time. So that's going to be pretty fun for you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed the RPGs I've been playing on here so far. And there's a new expansion pack starring Esri Dax, and Nicole DeBoer came back to reprise her role via the game. A lot of Star Trek actors actually reprise their roles in the games too, which is pretty impressive. Then Thursday, we're going to get back to Jack and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, as I promised last week, but I didn't really have the energy to do that last week, so this week we will do that properly this time. Friday, it'll be a chill stream day, probably Age of Empires 2 and maybe some Stronghold. We will see. But of course, I say I'm open to spontaneity, so you never know. I might still stream every day anyway, for all I know. And then my tarot streams happen on Saturdays and Sundays. So if you want more readings like this, that's one way you can get something like this. Another way you can do it is I currently am doing a campaign for my study abroad program. I'm about, let me see, I'm about like 44, 46% the way there. And it's on my coffee page. Like you can check out my offerings on the right side of the screen for my polls. If this is a bit too much for you, I can also give you a discount code, which I think I'm going to create one since we are getting to the tail end of the campaign, which it will still cover my expenses regardless of how much you purchase. But other ways you can help out, continue tuning into the channel like you have been, because I mean I get ad revenue and turbo, and you can also donate via coffee or through bits. I'm happy to say that I have hit the payout threshold, so however much I'm able to get during this period, it's gonna help me towards my trip, because I've so far had to like get a hotel room. I kind of realized like when I arrive in the city, it's gonna be one I can't check in, so all the more reason why I need to take care of that. So next time I'm here as well, I'm also going to be having a Discord listening party at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Friday. So we share tracks, we listen to them, we talk about them, we just have a lot of fun. So if you have some songs you want to share, my Discord server is linked down below if you want to jump on it. I'm also going to be going to the Queen Herbie Isle of Queen tour. She's having a bunch of concerts in the East Coast, so I want to attend at least one of them. I'm aiming for the I'm aiming for the August 1st concert up in Philly. So if you want to watch her stuff, the tickets are still available last I checked. So if you want to watch it, please do so. I use her music a lot, and I'm hoping maybe, just maybe, if I am blessed for the opportunity, I'm able to tell her that, hey, I've been getting really good use out of these cards. Thank you for creating them. I love her music. Like, it's been really motivational, and I wish I could play it on the stream, but alas, I am scared about copyright strikes, so there's that. Anyway, here's where you can find me outside of this channel. I've got Blue Sky, I got Discord, I got TikTok, I got Twitch. Well, Twitch and YouTube is where I simulcast these first two here. Theological Otaku is where I'm going to vlog and maybe do some video essays if you're interested in me doing that. And I have a Substack. I do literal written essays, thirdnerd.substack.com. And like I said earlier, I have a coffee shop so you can donate or shop. And I also have a Throne wish list. So if you prefer sending items over, you can just check out my Throne wish list, throne.com/Tondrasia. Honestly, I'm going to be frank, it's more so in reference to myself. So if you end up seeing it empty most of the time, its odds are pretty good I might have a job at that point. Fingers crossed I have a job before summer's out. And then most of the list will basically be gone. But anyway, this episode was filmed in the homelands of the Nanticoke and Lenape indigenous peoples. If you want to find out more about any tribal information, or just you're interested in facts and history and whose indigenous lands you're currently living on, visit native-land.ca for more information. And if you want to contribute to it, it's right there. It's really cool. Anyway, thank you. Shout out to Shout out to Chill Hop Music for the background tracks. I always use their stuff all the time whenever I do like tarot readings or whenever I'm like transitioning between stuff. Hope y'all have an amazing night and a good week. Stay safe out there. Hope this new moon proves fortuitous to you. I mean, it certainly has been with the readings I've been pulling so far. And as always, may your heart be your guiding key. Hey Cal, you came in just right when I ended, but you came just in time for the raid. So thank you so much for tuning in for today's Oracle forecast. If I have the energy, I might come back with Stronghold tomorrow, but otherwise, presume I'm coming back on Wednesday. So just keep an eye out for the notifications. But until next time, I'll see you later. For those watching on Twitch, stand by for a raid. And for those who are watching a replay or on YouTube, this is the end of the video. Thank you for being here. Love ya. Bye.